Hello everyone, and welcome back to Turkish Spotlight Secrets channel. Today we are diving into a story that blends on-screen chemistry, real-life timing, and one very deliberate makeover. Our focus is on two names you know and love, Elçin and Barış. For years, fans have associated them with unforgettable scenes, quick-witted banter, and that effortless spark that defined an era of television. But now there is a fresh chapter to talk about, and it begins not with a press conference or a red carpet, but with a photograph, a caption, and a choice that speaks louder than any interview. Elçin changed her hair, and she said she did it for Barış. That single detail has electrified fan circles and reopened the conversation about where friendship ends and something more tender begins. Let me set the stage. After their iconic pairing in Karalık Aşk, Elçin and Barış went their separate ways professionally, but they never erased the respect and camaraderie that grew during long shooting days and even longer nights of rehearsals. Over time, you could spot a pattern: mutual congratulations on milestones, small but meaningful messages of support, and the kind of easy rapport that does not vanish when the cameras stop rolling. They were careful, grounded, and private. And yet, every so often, a new moment arrived to remind audiences why people believed in them to begin with. That new moment arrived when Elçin posted a selfie that did not shout for attention but refused to be ignored. She appeared with a fresh shade that shifted the tone of her entire look: intentional, romantic, and meticulously styled. The caption hinted at something simple and profound: sometimes inner changes deserve an outer echo. In her own words, she connected the transformation to Barış, and that connection was not vague. It was direct. She made it clear that this was not just hair, it was a message. Fans immediately understood the subtext. Hair, especially for someone in the public eye, is a narrative instrument. It tells the audience where a character is headed, and it can tell the world where a person is emotionally. When Elçin linked her new color to Barış, she framed the transformation as a tribute to a person who has mattered to her for a long time. The reaction was instant. Comment sections filled up with heartfelt notes, throwback clips from Karalık Aşk, and side-by-side photos tracing the evolution of their styles and smiles over the years. This was not a push for gossip. It was a celebration of a bond that has aged well. Let's talk about what that bond looks like when you strip away the headlines. Industry insiders describe two professionals who know how to carry success without letting it carry them away. They are careful about what they post. They show up for friends. They choose their words with precision. That is precisely why Elçin's caption landed with such force. She does not tend to overshare, so when she shares, it means she has already had the private conversation, already weighed the consequences, and already decided that openness is worth the risk. The result is a gesture that feels both intimate and brave. Now, was this just a playful nod? Or was it a declaration that the long arc of their friendship has reached a turning point? That is the question fans have been discussing with a blend of hope and common sense. Some argue that the post was symbolic, the way artists dedicate a performance to someone important. Others believe the symbolism is the point. A quiet acknowledgement that what began as professional respect has grown into something that requires its own language. Either way, the timing feels right. Both have matured in their craft. Both understand the cost of publicity. Both have chosen clarity over chaos. Let's analyze how the reveal was orchestrated, because the strategy matters. There was no media blitz. No staged leaks. No anonymous quotes. Instead, there was a single, unmistakable statement delivered in Elçin's own voice. The lighting of the photo did not compete with her expression. The framing left room for the caption to breathe. Everything about the post said this: the message is not an accident, and it is not bait. It is a gift to the people who have followed their journey with patience. Of course, the culture around them amplified the moment. Stylists weighed in, not to gossip, but to praise the technical precision of the color choice. Fans gathered their favorite scenes and discovered new details in old frames. A glance that lasts a beat longer, a laugh that feels unscripted, the rhythm of two performers so comfortable with each other that silence becomes part of the dialogue. Editors clipped interviews where they talked about trust and teamwork. The internet stitched together a timeline that replaced rumor with context. The collective verdict was not cynical. It was warm. Meanwhile, Barış stayed consistent with who he has always been. He did not rush to post a response that could cheapen the sentiment. Instead, he acknowledged the storm of attention with understated grace. Observers noticed that he boosted supportive comments rather than provocative ones. He let the spotlight remain where it began, on Elçin's decision, her voice, her framing of the story. That restraint is an answer in itself. It signals respect. It signals alignment. It tells you that the gesture landed exactly where it was aimed. There is also a deeper theme here: agency. Too often, public narratives about relationships are written around women rather than by them. This time, Elçin wrote the headline herself. She set the tone, chose the symbol, and placed the emphasis on health, growth, and intention. The wording did not try to break the internet. It tried to build a bridge, between past and present, between character and person, between what fans hope and what two adults can genuinely sustain. Now, let's consider what comes next. Will we see them share a new project? Will an appearance together turn speculation into certainty? Nobody can promise those outcomes, and they may not be the point. What we can say is this: a relationship, whatever shape it takes, needs room to breathe. If they are moving from friendship into something more defined, they are doing it with patience. If they are reaffirming a bond that is already steady, they are choosing to celebrate it in a way that honors both their audience and themselves. The commercial world has noticed as well. Brand managers understand that authenticity is the only currency that holds value online for more than a moment. A post like this does not invite exploitation, it invites care. It encourages campaigns that reflect sincerity rather than spectacle. It hints at the possibility of collaborations that feel earned. In a media climate crowded with noise, the quiet stories, delivered with craft and conviction, rise above the rest. What about the people who have followed them since the first episode that made their names inseparable in popular culture? Those fans are older now, as are Elçin and Barış. They bring different expectations to the table. They are not asking for a fairy tale. They are asking for respect. And that is exactly what they received. A conversation led by the people involved, not shaped by rumor mills, not forced into a narrative that erases nuance. It is also worth acknowledging the risk that comes with any public declaration, even a subtle one. The internet is impatient. It wants confirmation, exclusives, definitive labels. Elçin and Barış chose a different path. They pointed to a feeling and allowed it to be seen without demanding that it be certified. In doing so, they reminded everyone that the most important promises are the ones you keep in private and prove in public through consistency over time. Let's end where we began, with the image and the line that traveled farther than anyone could have predicted. Hair changes all the time. But meanings do not. When someone says they wanted the outside to reflect what the inside has already discovered, they are telling you a love story without using the word at all. They are telling you that care has a color, that support has a texture, and that loyalty can be photographed if you know where to look. So here is the story, as cleanly as it can be told. Elçin Sangu stepped forward with a transformation and tied it, deliberately, to Barış Arduç. The world responded not with scandal, but with gratitude. Friends and colleagues recognized the honesty. Fans saw the thread connecting past scenes to present feelings. No one needed to rush the ending. The beginning was enough. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the meaning behind a single post and the long road that led to it, make sure you stay with us for upcoming features. We will keep following the moments that matter, the choices that say more than publicity ever could, and the artists who understand that the most lasting statements are often the quietest ones. Until then, here is the takeaway that will outlive the news cycle: a thoughtful gesture, a carefully chosen color, and two people who know how to say exactly as much as they intend to, and nothing more.